Hello, welcome back. Listen, I really don't understand, what it is with our politicians, with our leaders. Have you not had enough of sucking us dry? Listen, before I get into this, I'm so fed up. Since 2008, have we had a break from pain, from crisis to crisis, from the credit crunch to the banking crisis to COVID, wars and wars in between, natural disasters, having to pay for this, pay for that, depleting not only our finances by just sending it all over the world for things that we don't even understand, that doesn't affect us. Constant wars. Not only are we poorer for it, but literally sacrificing our future for it. And I question sometimes, I find myself asking myself actually, what are we gaining from this? What is the reason? King Charles goes to the United States, whether you're for the monarchy or against the monarchy, I really don't care. You understand? I just want the country that I grew up in, my country, to be safe. I want my children to be able to experience the level of safety that I had when I was younger. Just the bare minimum is just to have it, to go back to how it was in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't know whether it was because I was a child and I didn't really understand, but there was less tension. Maybe not. Maybe there were things going on in the world that, because listen, there's always been wars, there's always been craziness going on in the world. So maybe I just didn't know because I was young. But really, was there this level of chaos that we have now? This lust for war and death and conflict. It's insane. Like, there has to be I don't know, when you're boxing, when you're doing mixed martial arts, there comes a point where you need to tap out. If man's got you in a chokehold, it doesn't make you brave, the guy choking you out until you fall asleep. It doesn't make you brave him putting you in a leg lock and snapping your bones in your legs. Because you know what happens? You ain't going to be able to fight again. This is what King Charles wants us to do. He wants us to break our legs so we are incapable of fighting again, incapable of building this country back again, of making this country great again, of making our lives somewhat bearable, of not having to have this constant dread behind us, thinking about how we're going to pay this bill, that bill. Is the price of bread going to go up tomorrow? Is the price of petrol going to go up tomorrow? Is my mortgage going to be the same tomorrow? Am I going to wake up and there's another war, another tax increase? When is it enough, man? This guy goes to the Ukraine, this guy goes to the United States. He's been there for the last couple of days. Addressed Congress. He's been talking with Donald Trump, pretending like he's funny. This guy ain't funny. He's charming. This guy's not charming. Fed up of this shit. Goes to America. Instead of him talking, let's do trade. Let's stop with this wars, this mindless quest for blood and conflict. Let's make money. What have you got? This is what we've got. Can we make a trade? No. He's talking about he needs Trump's attention to stay on Ukraine. He stressed the unyielding resolve needed to push back against Russia. But what is this obsession that we have with Russia? What is this? Listen, I really don't care about Russia. I don't care. I care about this country. You know what, to be honest? I care about my family. And we so happen to be from this country. So I have to care about this country. I'm sure the Russians are thinking the same thing. I'm sure the Ukrainians are thinking the same thing. Do you think those Ukrainians feel that their country is being served right now? I'm talking about the average Ukrainian, not the oligarchs that are coming into the UK with their private plate sports cars, tearing it up and down the West End, showing off. I'm not talking about them ones. I'm talking about the average, the normal Ukrainians, the ones that have had to sacrifice their sons. What is it with this obsession with conflict? The glorification of blood. This isn't brave, this isn't valor, mate. We need the boogeyman. I don't care about China. I don't care about the Chinese, man. I really don't. Why don't we just trade, make money? You keep them in line by them wanting to continue to make money. Everybody wants to make money. No one wants bloodshed. You don't see the Chinese running around trying to conquer here, conquer there. They just want to make money. Whether you were in Russian side or Ukrainian side, or you're like me on no side, you just looking at it and seeing it as it is and thinking, what is this nonsense? There must be a time, it must get to a place where we're like, do you know what? What is there to gain from this? There's nothing to gain from this if you're a normal, everyday person. But if you're a politician, if you're King Charles, there is. You have to serve your master, whoever he is. Because no rational human being who has love in his life wants to live in a state of constant conflict. I'm telling you, the world is richer than it ever could be, but yet it's poorer than it ever could be. Everyday people in this country are worried about so many things. NHS, police force. The police force is a mess. NHS is a mess. Everything is expensive, mate. Public facilities destroyed. Nothing. Everything is filthy. Go to London. You may see a rat the size of a football. Madness. This guy is still talking about the Ukraine. He appeals for reconciliation between Britain and the United States. That's good. Whatever you think about Donald Trump, whatever you think about America, if you really are on peace and making money and being prosperous, trade is just like, it's the oldest, literally, people have been trading since the beginning of time. Why not trade? Never mind make love, not war. Make dough, not war. I know you can make dough through war, but the only people who make dough through war are the said Black Rocks and all these shady companies, shady characters in the background. Those are the people that make money from wars. People like you and I, we make money on peace. He says, this is incredible. He used his joint address to Congress to speak of how NATO members had answered the call together after 9/11, adding that today, that same unyielding resolve is needed for the defense of Ukraine and her courageous people. You know what we could replace that with? We could say, today, that same unyielding resolve is needed to build our countries and make them great again. Didn't that sound better? In order to secure a truly just and lasting peace. Do you think, sending more bombs, more guns, more money to the Ukraine is going to do that? Hey, if you think that, mate, I've got a bridge to sell you. Madness. I'm not even joking. This is crazy. Unusually direct remarks for a head of state who must carefully choose his words come at a time when the US-Israel war in Iran has opened a major rift in Trump's relationship with Starmer, yada, yada, yada. We know all of that. But I even read, that he also, when he was speaking at this Congress, that many members of the Republican Party sat down. In other words, they protested. They were against what he was saying. And why shouldn't they be? Listen, I don't trust any of those people, man. Listen, look what Trump has done to his own people. Threw him under a bus, got in power, threw him under a bus. So I'm not here to pick sides. I'm not here to far right, far left. I don't know anybody that still believes in that crap. Good for you. I don't. Why do we need to be in a team? Why do we all need to pick a side and be in a team? Like, surely, no matter what team you're on, whether you support Arsenal or you support Tottenham, if you jump in a river and you can't swim, you will drown. You don't need to be on the same team to understand that. But we're told we need to pick a team. Are you for this, for that? Are you a racist? Because you want your country to be a little bit more safer. You don't want too much immigration in your country. Are you a racist? I remember I saw in Japan, they were protesting against the amount of foreigners in Japan, and they don't get that many like we do. They were protesting. I didn't see anybody saying those Japanese are racist. Oh, the Japanese. Ain't they nice people? Little Japanese. But God forbid someone in the UK says that you're a racist. And don't get me wrong, when you look at the comments on some of these people that are labeled far right or on the right or just right of the right or a centimeter to the right, you're going to see those prick racists that couldn't say those things to your face. I really don't care what side you're on. There must be a time where you're like, listen, man, I'm tired of this shit. When I was younger, for some reason, just looking for trouble when I was a kid. Looking for trouble, man. Then I got to a point where I just want to make bread, man. This trouble, I want to make bread and get girls, man. It's crazy. Why are you in the club looking at next man for? Why are you looking at other men for? I'm in the club, I'm trying to drink, I'm trying to meet some girls. I ain't trying to fight everybody. That's who these people are. They're that guy in the club that can't get no chicks, no love. He just wants to beat everyone up, looking for trouble. No one likes that guy, mate. No one likes him. Listen, if you're not tired of the situation we're in right now, if you're not tired of being fearful of breaking your leg for fear of having to wait in A&E 40 days and 40 nights, you'll ask the next MP that comes and knocks on your doorstep, and I'm including Restore, you'll ask him, what's in it for me? What are you going to do for me? I was liking the things that Rupert Lowe was saying, some of them, but then when you focus on one set of people, immigrants, yeah, there's too much immigration in here. We need to stem that. I was watching something the other day. The first thing that comes out of his mouth is, Peter Mandelson had ties with China and ties with Russia. As soon as I hear that, I know you're not for us. Because the average person in this country doesn't care about your links with China and your links with Russia. As long as you're not selling state secrets to them, as long as you're not doing anything to destroy our country, who the fuck cares if you have links to China and Russia? What does links to China and Russia mean? Does it mean you went there on holiday, went to the Great Wall of China, had a little walk around, took a piss off the wall? Did you go to Russia and Peter Square and have a look? I don't trust these people, man. I don't trust them. I don't trust Nigel Farage. I don't trust Rupert Lowe. I don't trust Keir Starmer. When are we going to get someone that are just like, you know what? I'm going to think about my country first. I ain't worried about China. I ain't worried about Russia. I ain't giving no more foreign aid. Sorry if you don't like that. That's cool. I'm going to drill, baby, drill. I'm going to do the things that my country needs. I want that so much. And all we get from these politicians is just two sides of the same arse. Two cheeks on the same arse. Believe me, this is madness, man. I'm out.